All right, welcome to episode number 4 of Bologna, Lips, and the Woolly Worm. I am Joe Deuce, aka the Woolly Worm, and here with me, the co-host, maybe the star, depending on which side of the aisle
Depending
you're on,
on
I
if
guess.
you're white or black, I guess is probably
Maybe.
when it comes right down to it.
Okay, yeah.
Because everybody's separated by race. That's why we're here to solve all these problems.
Tell everybody your name, white boy.
I'm David. I'm David McCrary, or Bologna Lips. If you're wondering why we're Bologna Lips and the Woolly Worm, you need to listen to the first episode.
That's right. Up right now at lipworm.com. You can check it out.
Yep.
And let me tell you something, Dave. I'm going to be honest. I love everyone.
No, that's good to know. I'm proud of you.
Except the Walmart checkout person who doesn't greet you.
Oh, that's good. I think
Yeah.
we're kind of close with what we
Really?
like people we don't like today. Kind of.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
because it literally on the screen where you slide your credit card, it asks where you greeted today, and if they don't greet me,
it does?
I say nope. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Usually they have like a little survey that'll pop up on it.
Mm-hmm.
Like it is on there until they finalize your total. So
Okay.
yeah, say hi, Walmart employee. It's not that hard. This isn't Aldi's. I came here because I want you to say hello.
Yeah, well, I see that. I think almost every place I've seen it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, except for Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A,
Right.
those people are very happy to be working at Chick-fil-A.
There's actually a new video that I saw the other day of a guy running alongside a car, knocking on the window, and they stop and roll down the window. He's like, "I'm sorry, I forgot to tell you, it's my pleasure." And then he runs back to the Chick-fil-A.
It's funny you say that.
Hilarious.
I was
Yeah.
at a Chick-fil-A with a group of people. I was doing a show, and one of the guys used to be like a manager there, and somebody, one of the servers or workers came over to fill up our glass or refill our glass, and I said, thank you, and she said, oh, you're welcome. And she walked away, and that former manager that's sitting with me almost lost his mind.
Oh man,
He's like,
I'm
you're not
sure.
supposed to say you're welcome. You're
He
supposed
was
to say
triggered.
yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
he was triggered.
It's my pleasure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Chick-fil-A is like the Princess Bride of restaurants.
That's
As
right.
you wish.
As you wish. Oh, man. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's good. That's good. And so, like I said, I think, I love everybody except, and this is, it's still kind of close, people who can't say thank you.
Oh.
That's
Yeah.
an obvious one, but I just held a door for somebody the other day and walked right past me, didn't say a word. And I just do it because I'm just being polite, didn't
Right.
say a word. And I'm like, how hard is it to say thank you? Especially now that we're near Thanksgiving, we're recording this near Thanksgiving.
Right.
Just say thank you.
You know the worst part is you're not supposed to do these things wanting anything. You're supposed to do them out of some selflessness.
Yep.
But literally the only thing I want is some acknowledgement that I did it for you. Like just thank you.
Yeah.
Very simple.
Yeah. Even just a head nod. But this person walked by me like it was my job to hold the door for them.
Equally worse, and I was going to save this for a future episode, but I love everyone except for the people who you let in to your lane who don't give you a hand.
Yep.
If you don't give me the thank you hand, I'm going to drive around you and cut off. I'm cutting you back
I'm
off.
running you off the road. You might as well consider yourself in the ditch.
You might as well just get out and walk. Leave your car there because the insurance ain't gonna take care of what I'm doing.
Yep. Oh yeah, that's basically the same thing. They're not saying thank you. That's a way to say thank you.
Just acknowledge. That someone did something for you. Like it's not a big deal. That's
Right.
the audience. This is your homework this week. Acknowledge people who have done things for you.
There you go. Just show
There
a
you
little
go.
gratitude.
Well.
You know what we need though?
Oh,
We
go
need-
ahead. No, go ahead.
I would say we need an international sign for, hey, I realize I screwed up. Like when you're in a car, if you cut somebody off. Maybe it's the hand up and kind of duck your head.
My bad.
Sorry.
My bad. Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. In black culture, it's a chest pat. Like my bad.
Okay. Okay.
That's me. It's all me.
I'm gonna try it. Tell me if I get this down. Oh, that was not good. I saw myself. That was bad. That looked like I told somebody to steal second.
Right.
Wow.
You just looked.
It looked.
No, it was. You looked too happy to be doing it. Like you.
Okay.
You shouldn't
I
be
have
that
to
happy
show-
about accepting blame. You got to show a
Okay.
little like my bad, man.
Yeah. So let me try. Since they can't see it. Let me try. My bad, man. Was that good? I feel like if I say that,
it wasn't. It was an attempt.
Okay.
It was better.
Give me one more chance. Here we go.
You gotta find your own remorse space, Dave. You can't recreate mine.
All right, here we go. Oh man, sorry, man. That looked like Clint Eastwood, a very sad Clint Eastwood. My eyes were all scrunched together.
You like Harrison Ford had something stuck in his teeth. You got too many clicks, bro. This
I know.
South Africa. One or two little teeth slurps is good here.
Okay.
My bad.
My bad. I don't know why I'm.
That was fine. That was okay.
Yeah, but I don't know why I'm all of a sudden talking like
your
that.
Eyebrows go, bro.
Yeah, my bad.
No problem, Sling Blade. See you later.
Oh, all right. Is that my homework? Learn how to say my bad?
We're going to say my bad in the mirror 4 times. And then the ghost of mistakes you made will show up.
Oh, wow. All right. Okay. I'll get better at that. I'll work on that, whether it's my homework or not.
Okay.
I just need to go out and do bad to people, so I say my bad.
Yeah, it's not even a it's not like a I'll beat yourself up thing. It's just like, you know what? Yeah, you're right. That's me.
Yeah, that was me. Sorry, man, that was me. Sorry.
Yeah, that's perfect. But if you shake your head, if you shake your head, you gotta shake your head like, yeah.
Yeah.
Me. It's all me. Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah.
That's okay. That's a little extreme.
That was really bad. Yeah.
Right. You became suicidal. It wasn't that big of a deal. You just gave me paper instead of plastic. That was it. That's all you did.
Yeah. I probably shouldn't want to kill myself for that reason.
No.
Probably shouldn't want to kill yourself at all. I mean.
No. Hopefully not.
It's got dark in here really fast.
Yeah, well, you got
no
a blackout
offense
on your computer, so
no offense.
Yeah, well, too late for that. I think last episode you told me that you had malware on your computer to keep black things out of it.
Yeah. But it's not working because here you are.
That's because your white balance is off on your screen. You got to change the brightness.
What are we talking about today?
Well, let's do our homework. Let's report in on our homework. I'll go first.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. We haven't done our homework yet.
I will go first.
Okay.
Because you gave me a doozy. And it's been very hard for me to think about. You wanted me to give you... I conjured you into giving me the ability to make a list of the top black culture
pop culture
moments from the last 40 years. I've got a few. So the 4 of these, I give you a top 5. 4 of these are literally things that happened. They weren't necessarily moments, if that makes sense. Okay. So coming in 5th place is, since this actually is very recent, since the quarantine, there's a thing online called the Versus Battle. And so most white people have no idea what I'm talking about right now. But what happened was a couple of DJs decided that they were going to get on a streaming platform, I think it's Instagram they use mostly, and do side-by-side, share their screen, and they would battle each other with all their hit songs that they had over the years. Okay. This rolled into several different artists doing versus battles. So like we've had Monica versus Brandy, which was like 90s R&B like royalty going at it. Last night they had Jeezy versus Gucci Mane, which you probably don't even know who those people are. But
I have heard the names. I've heard those names.
Yeah. So they're rappers, and so they had a battle. And so it's been a cultural phenomenon literally almost every couple of weeks when there is one. All my black friends are talking about it on Facebook, on YouTube, on Instagram, and the next day they're still talking about it. They're arguing over who won. So this has been a huge thing during quarantine to break us out of like an otherwise kind of desperate situation. It's been good entertainment consistently. Okay, awesome. So that's number 5. Number 4, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Oh yeah.
As a show, I think it crossed boundaries. White people loved it. Black people loved it. It talked about issues, talked about, family issues, racial issues, all kinds of stuff. What it is to be black versus what it is to be, a black person who's got money versus it covered all the gamuts. And so that's good. That is a huge moment, I think, in black cultural. And
are you going to watch the HBO reunion?
I've heard how good it is. I'm gonna have to bootleg it on a Fire Stick. So yes, I will. I will be checking it out. I've heard a lot of people say you will cry. And
I can imagine.
both Aunt Vivs are on there, so I'm interested to see how that plays out.
Yeah. Uncle Phil has passed away, so that's I'm sure that's a tearjerker of a moment. Yeah.
Right. So we'll check those out. Okay.
Okay.
Other pop culture number 3 is the Chappelle Show.
Okay. Brilliant.
Again,
absolutely
another
brilliant.
one that overall has been like it has influenced a lot, and a lot of comics kind of got their start there in our black culture. This one is. I argued this one whether I was going to go with Oprah because Oprah has influenced so much, but I don't think that was necessarily for us. It was great, but it wasn't necessarily for us. So, that's I'm gonna say it's not her, but there's a movie that was released in the '80s and blew up, and every black person I know knows a bunch of quotes from it.
I'll take a guess.
Go ahead.
The Color Purple.
Nope. No, but
wasn't she in that? She was in that, right?
Yeah, Oprah was in there. Yeah.
Okay.
But this is not Oprah. This is a person who has been on everyone's screens and was on Saturday Night Live at one point as one of the first big black characters that's on there. Coming to America with Eddie Murphy.
It's so good. Just watched it again the other day.
Oh my God. I watch it literally probably every year. I quote it at least once a week. And there's so many. The only reason I went to see the Ice Cube movie Barbershop is because I didn't see any advertisements, and I thought it might be just the old guys from the Barbershop in Coming to America in a movie.
Wow.
That's what I was hoping. And so they're coming out with a sequel, I think, next year, but that is a huge moment that transcends generations and generations.
Love it.
The number one.
Now, are these, you didn't say no particular order. Is this,
no, I did them in the order. And
okay.
The number one most important, I think, pop culture moment for black culture in the last 40 years, for me, in my opinion, was the election and inauguration of Barack Obama. And I know people will say that that's political. However, if you watch the speeches from either that inauguration in 2008 or the one in 2012, which I was at, they are both very great speeches, and they will motivate you no matter whether you're black or you're white. But I know in 2008 when he was elected, I lived in St. Louis. St. Louis changed the name of one of their biggest streets to Barack Obama Avenue. There was songs that came out by Jeezy from the Versus battle I mentioned earlier called My President is Black. There's like, it transcended. It wasn't just political. There were people dancing in the streets in Africa. There were people dancing in the streets in Oakland. It was a huge moment for black America. And I think no matter what age you were at that time, it influenced you in some way. Old people were crying. Black people was twerking. Middle-aged people was just excited wearing fur coats in Washington, D.C. It was crazy.
And my thought is, even at that point, even if you're conservative and maybe didn't agree with everything he said, even a decent, which there are plenty of decent conservatives, even a decent conservative should be able to say, wow, this is good. We've made progress here. You know, whether you agreed with what he said, we elected a black president. And I definitely lean more conservative than liberal, but I'm not way conservative, if that makes sense. And I was awesome. It was awesome. I was like, finally, it's about time. I know, and it may sound like I'm being super sensitive or what is it called, virtue signaling, but it was awesome that the country finally elected a black president. So
So that's that in my opinion is the biggest moment in pop culture for black people in the last.
And I think it's fair also to call that pop culture. I mean,
because it transcended so much different stuff.
Yeah. That's good. All right, that's a good list. You did well for somebody whining like a baby when I gave you that list. I gave you that homework.
Like, Dave, what if I was like, what is the greatest white victory that you've seen in your lifetime? Like, you'd be like, there's so many.
I'm like, all of them. All of them?
A lot of pop culture is black culture. Like, there's, rap and hip hop are so influential. And, so it was very hard. And entertainment, don't even get me started on the movies. You named The Color Purple. Reading Rainbows, got a black man on
Lamar.
LeVar Burton's the best African American.
I said Lamar. It is LeVar.
LeVar Burton. He came here as a slave, learned how to read, taught other people how to read, ended up on a spaceship with some cool glasses. Like, he has had a great life.
There's people petitioning to have him
host Jeopardy.
Take Alex Trebek's place.
Yes.
That would be cool.
Part of me's wanted to see it. The other part of me is like, Alex Trebek was a once in a lifetime kind of person. Like, why he started Jeopardy? Because he wanted to be around smart people. He doesn't like dumb people. That's what he said. And
Wow.
so starting Jeopardy was his way to make sure he could meet other intelligent people.
Wow. That's other intelligent people.
Right. That's I was like, that's kind of a jerk statement, but
Yeah.
good for
Wow.
you.
Yeah. Yeah, he was a legend, though. I think they should find, like, a host of maybe a game show that's, like, just in one state. Like, not a big...
Yeah.
Like a big...
Maybe
Maybe
people
if
can
there's
still
a...
win money. I think
Yeah, if
winning
there's an
money's
Ohio
important.
lottery, like let's say
That
the
would be
Ohio
great.
lottery had
Yeah.
a game show.
Then
They
yeah,
should
I think
use-
that person. I mean, to be honest, most of the people who watch cable TV are in Middle America anyway. So if they love you in Ohio,
There you go.
they're gonna.
I don't know if they
they're
love me in
Jeopardy
Ohio, but they've kept me around. Yeah, for
Okay,
folks who
well.
don't know, I host a game show in Ohio. They're like, what are you guys even talking about?
fans. Yeah,
All right, you want to hear about my homework?
I do. I am so excited to hear about your.
Yeah. So you wanted me to watch Trapped in the Closet, the R. Kelly, the music video he did. I should have looked to see what year that came out. It was 2015, 2012, somewhere around there.
Yeah, I don't know.
You wanted me to watch the first 4 episodes.
Yeah,
And-
for chapters.
For a chapter. Yeah. And I was hooked from the first one. Every single one leaves you thinking, oh, I can't stop watching this.
It all ends in cliffhangers.
Yeah.
It all ends.
And so here's what happened. I watched the first 4, and then I watched in a row, and I'll be honest with you, I just watched them this morning. I just watched it. It's been a crazy week. I had a lot of stuff to do this week. I just watched them this morning. Went on to the next one. I'm gonna keep going. I can't stop watching now. Went on to the 5th one, and for some reason the video just clicked off, like with some time left. I don't know how much time was left. So I played it, went back and played it again, stopped the same place. I'm like, all right, well, maybe this one's just weird. So I played the next one, and it did the same thing. So I got to figure out where I can watch it where it doesn't click off like that. For some reason, they just stopped. Like I don't know if it was 3 seconds left, but when it came on to the next video, it was like a totally different scene than what they were in, because you know how it seems like
keeps
it
it going.
just continues. Yeah. But man, and it is. There are times when you laugh out loud because of the kind of the cheesiness. One thing that bothered me was he's upset with his girlfriend or wife. I can't remember if it's, but he's and I don't remember it's him or he's mad at her or like the guy she's cheating with. But he says the word, and while he's singing, he says, I think, the word more, and then he says, he threatens the guy and says, I'm going to count to 4. Nobody counts to 4. You count to 3. I'm going to count to 3. But he has to make it rhyme. Change
It
the
has to
word
rhyme.
more. Don't
No,
change the number
It
you
has
count
to
to.
rhyme. Yeah.
Oh, that drove me crazy. I almost had to look him up to see if I could find an email and tell him, dude, come on. You can't think of a word that flows into that rhymes with 3, so you can say I'm going to count to 3. It drove me nuts.
But
I'm
you
going to count to
remembered
4.
it. But you remember
I did.
it. And you know
I
what?
did.
I guarantee at some point in your life you can be like, you know what? I'm going to count to 4.
People are like, what are you talking about?
What?
It's
Why
from
not?
Trapped
Why
in the
not 3?
Closet.
Yeah.
Like,
Trapped in the Closet.
From
You know
what?
Yeah.
The other thing was him driving in that car.
The terrible green screen thing.
Oh
they had
my
going on.
gosh!
Yeah.
And he's driving like this.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It was.
The whole thing is laughable yet entertaining. The entire.
I could not-
There's 30.
I didn't want to
There's
stop.
30 some odd chapters,
Okay.
and at some
I will
point,
be watching them.
Yeah, because he took a break. At some point, he doesn't have braids anymore. All of a sudden, and no one
All of a
acknowledges. Like no one acknowledges the fact that he's changed his look. Like nothing has changed. And I love it. He sings everything. Like literally every moment, everything he's doing.
And there's no chorus, so he doesn't go back to
No.
the same chorus. It's
No.
just he's singing everything.
And
It's like cop rock.
It kind of is. But when it first came out, Dave, I'm not lying to you. I would be walking around singing everything I was doing.
Yeah.
I'd be like, now I'm opening the closet.
I will be
my
doing
shirt
that
out the
too.
closet. Like. and
my
then
gosh.
echo whatever your last thing is you say. Whatever your
Yeah.
cliffhanger is. Oh my God, a rubber. Whenever the
I think that was
cliffhanger is.
that was the end of episode 3 or 4.
It was episode 3, I believe. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brother.
Oh, man.
I'm telling you, it is. Anytime you are just bored out of your mind, and you're like, I need to do something to entertain.
Yeah.
Trapped in the closet.
I'm telling you, it's like
YouTube it.
Quibi. Quibi fell apart,
Yeah.
but Quibi tried to give you these short little quick
Right.
bits.
Right.
And that's what it is. So you just,
Yeah.
I watched the first one. I'm like, well, yeah, I'm going to watch the second one. That one left with a cliffhanger, and the next one left with a cliffhanger. I'm like, how many times can you live with it? Yeah.
Times.
Wow.
Like 33 times he leaves you with a
It's
cliffhanger.
pretty brilliant. And it is.
Yeah.
It's, you mentioned last week it's like the Spanish soap operas, and it kind of is. It's a one big soap opera.
It is a black telenovela.
Yeah.
It is amazing.
It's good. Well, I appreciate that homework because I had a blast.
Yeah.
All right, so that's good. What do we want to talk about today? I mean, we talked a lot about that, but what are we going to talk about today?
I want to tackle an issue that I've been hearing a lot about. Now, I travel around. The elections happened earlier. I don't even know if we have a winner yet, to be honest. But,
for folks who are listening, right now is November 20th. So depending on when this comes out, things may change.
Maybe.
November 20th. Yeah,
I'm not going to believe
not.
anything until January, and I think this will be out before then. So it is what it is. But I kept hearing multiple people, family, friends, both sides of the aisle. Oh, my goodness. We're on the verge of a civil war. We're on the verge of and that's all I kept hearing about was that we're on the verge of a civil war. And I love history. I don't know how you feel about it. But
I preferred gym class or recess.
Okay.
But history.
Well, I've seen a lot of Civil War movies, read a lot of Civil War stuff. My stepdad growing up loved like Abraham Lincoln and almost anything Civil War related. So that was some of the books that were available that I would read. And so I love Civil War history, but I can't imagine, like there's people who are thinking we're going to go into a Civil War. I just can't imagine as pampered and lazy and garbage filled as we are as people today that we could even pull off a Civil War. Like the countries that have civil wars, people are starving and they have nothing else to do. We can't even wear masks to Walmart.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
We're like, I'm gonna put on a uniform and secede. No, you're not. You haven't.
No, you're not.
You haven't even. Yeah, it's like
the Buckeyes are on. The Ohio State Buckeyes are playing this afternoon. Okay,
so
after that.
Right
after that.
Well, I would join the Civil War, but how are you gonna have a championship game in college football? Alabama can't play against Ohio.
It's a totally different game. Very violent game. Yeah.
I'm like, and the other thing is I don't think the borders would be the same because people are on. It's like it's middle America.
It's just a mess.
If it's red versus blue, it's kind of like middle America versus the coasts and big cities, and it's a mess. Yeah. If it was still the same, I think you could literally just cut off their supplies of insulin and Mountain Dew, and you could choke out the South from both sides. Like you're going to need one of those two things in the next week or two. You're not getting any of them. And
right.
Yeah, but it's From a white perspective in Ohio, you're a white Northerner. I'm a black Southerner. Like what is your perspective on if a Civil War happened?
Oh man, I'm that lazy guy. They'd be like, and I just get frustrated because I'm trying to make this sound as manly as possible. I'm a very loving guy.
Right.
I just want to get along with everybody.
Right.
I realize there are people who say stupid stuff. There are people who I don't know. When I hear about the Civil War, I think everything's magnified. As much as I'm on social media, I try to put stuff on there that's fun. I don't try to put anything controversial on there. I just want to have fun and make people smile. I think social media is a real downfall to the Western civilization.
Yeah.
Because it's just making us awful, and everything's magnified. So if you see a few people being angry, you just think that's how everybody feels.
Right.
And I know both conservative, I know liberals, I know every label you can give somebody. I'm friends with everybody, and I don't get it. I don't get the frustration. And I mean, I do get the frustration. I don't get the hate,
Right. Yeah. I think for me, what I've noticed, you're an entertainer as well. You're comic and magician. I think we travel a lot. We end up in spaces where we might not otherwise end up. And so you end up interacting with people you might not know otherwise. I think for me, what I've noticed is I feel like there's about 10% of the country that's split between the two extremes. Yeah. So there's like very extreme conservatives, almost militant. Well, pretty militant, not almost. Yeah.
Right.
And then there's also pretty extreme liberals who are militant as well. Yeah. And then the other 90% of us are somewhere on the spectrum in the middle. I'm a progressive, but I also hate the looting and the rioting. Or like I'm a conservative, but I don't think we should like storm the Capitol with armed to the teeth for
Exactly.
because we
Yep.
don't believe something. I think majority of the countries in the middle. So like the Civil War would it'd be like when you see the two kids that can't fight at school. Like like they're fighting and everyone else is just like, what's going on? Like what's going on?
Yeah.
Like that's what I feel like is happening online. But it just looks so big. You're talking about how it's magnified. I agree. Like it's so
Yep.
big. And then the other side of that, I think, is social media, and it's not just Western culture. I think just culture in general.
Yeah,
it's
you're
all
right,
over the
you're
world
right.
now. But social media has allowed us to surround ourselves with people who think exactly like us. So any little thing that we are triggered by, if everyone else on our friends list is triggered by the same thing, it becomes a bigger issue. And now, before when we would have maybe let it roll off our back or talked about it or identified the issue and fixed it, now it's just 1,000 people complaining about it.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
That's the downfall of the downfall of Al Gore's internet.
That's right.
Is that he has allowed idiots to group up, and the rest of us who were fine before are now becoming more idiotic because
Yeah.
we're attached to these groups.
Yeah, we're sinking to their level.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So is there an anti-internet we can?
I don't know. That's
start?
a good question.
Yeah.
That's a good question. What is Parler? I think I know what Parler is. Parler seems a little white, a little angry
Well,
white.
I don't know if you saw my status. I said I think they misnamed Parler. It should have been called Paler.
I can see that.
It's like Facebook without the blacks. Like that's it's my understanding is that Parler is supposed to be a social media platform that does not police your speech. So they allow you to say whatever you wish.
Okay.
Which could be good for honest
Yeah.
dialogue, but also I think it
could be
used
awful.
primarily by conservatives.
Yeah. Well, now because you do hear conservatives are saying that a lot of Twitter is being censored. So that would make sense that a lot of angry conservatives that are trying to say maybe some true stuff, maybe some awful stuff, but they're all
Right.
going to Parler now so they can say what they want to say. So,
Right.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, and so that's what it is. For me, it's a catch-22. I think that Facebook should be taking down everyone's status or blocking it or anything. No, but on Twitter usually they just put a tag like that this may contain false information, and people are upset about that. And I'm like, well, then fact check. Like it's not it's not that hard to fact check what you're saying. And it's usually people who are like, oh man, there's a new decision out and Trump won Nevada. And I'm like, no, that's not anywhere. Like Nevada hasn't said that. Where did you learn this? And they're like, I was on the QAnon website and this is what it says. And I'm like, well, okay, but that's, I've never met someone who goes by an anonymous name that shares relevant information.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
If it was Q stands for Quentin, I would believe it. Because I'm like, oh, Quentin said it. Like,
but
it's QAnon. I'm like, okay, that's probably not. And there's conspiracy theories on both sides. It's not like it's not just a conservative thing. But conservatives, I think, as a group, tap those things a little bit more. And I think part of it is because Trump does his thing. But I think also there's a lot of other people who are enabling Trump to do his thing. I'm from Kentucky. Mitch McConnell. Ugh, don't even get me started on that shellless turtle.
I mean, that's the best description.
Yeah, he's done a lot of people for our state in the 40 years we've been electing him. But I think you have people who are high up in the conservative or in the Republican Party who are allowing some of these things to go on without calling them out. And you have others who are not. That's there's Mitt Romney said, like, no, this is over. Like, he needs to concede. There's a lot of other people in the Conservative Party who are saying the right things or trying to do the right things. I think there needs to be some new parties.
Yeah, I agree completely. We get down to where we have just two, and maybe that's why I consider myself conservative, but not completely conservative, because there's so many issues. I can't just be like, yep, everything conservatives say is right, because there's times when they say stuff I'm like, I can't get on board with that. Those are
the people those are the people who frustrate me, who just blanketly believe whatever their party says.
If that person can't make up their mind about what the person on TV said until they find out if there's an R or a D next to their name, that person's wrong.
Right.
Don't do that.
some things make sense and some things don't. It should be that simple. And it's like this I agree with and this I don't agree with. It should be very, very cut and dry. I don't understand it. People who just blanketly accept everything.
Yeah.
You know?
If you quote somebody about a policy, don't tell me if it's an R or D. I'll tell you what I believe, and then surprise me. Democrats said that, then I'm down with that.
Exactly.
Conservatives said that, okay, it's cool.
And I think that the world we live in, people are drawing lines in the sand, and they're not willing to come to the line and talk to the person on the other side of the line.
Yep.
That's the issue.
Yep.
Like I think Black Lives Matter as a movement is a good thing. The organization I don't necessarily agree with. But
see, I from what I've read, again, that's from what I read, I agree with you, but I don't know at times if I'm reading the right thing. If it's true or not.
Yeah, well, so, I think I don't like the rioting and looting, even though I can understand why it's happening. I don't necessarily condemn it, but I don't like it. But at the same time, I think, for me to say as a black man, black lives are important and we should be treated equally. I think the issue is one thing I've learned being mixed is you cannot tell white people that they don't have it harder than you. Like that is, you cannot be like, yeah, man, I had to get up at 3 this morning. They're gonna be like, oh man, well I only had 2 hours of sleep and I got up at 5. So you cannot tell a white middle-aged person, especially a man, that they have it harder than you or that your life is different because they don't see it. And they have been told their whole lives that they're hardworking, nose to the grind people. And
I'm agreeing with you because that sounds like me.
And so I think for me, marketing really matters. Black Lives Matter should have been like Black Lives Also Matter or Black Lives Matter Too. Instead of, because now people are like, well, all lives matter. Yeah, we agree.
Yeah, we don't have to. And see, so I'm a conservative that when people say all lives matter, I'm like, come on, understand what they don't have to put an apostrophe 2 in there. Just understand. I don't know. Yeah. And that goes back to just people want to be offended and angry and ugh.
Well, they want to draw their lines, and I to some degree I get it because there's so much of it going on around you. It's hard not to do. But at the same time, I just think it's so, I think we're both Christians. I assume since you work in a church a lot of times, you believe what you're putting out there. But, as a Christian, what bothers me is people who blanketly just accept whatever Christians say. Mm-hmm. Like, you go to church and you hear a pastor preach, but you don't read any of the scripture yourself. Yeah. And I think for me, Christianity is an actual relationship with God and walking in that path and having certain convictions and all that kind of stuff. So if you just go to church and listen to a pastor and then you leave there and live the same life you were always living, in my opinion, you're not actually a Christian.
Yeah.
But people will call themselves Christian and they believe things blanketly and they don't look at anything. They don't study anything. They don't read anything. They don't have their own theology. And so that's the same thing that's happening politically.
Well, if we're talking church, so Jesus said the greatest commandment is love the God or love God. The second, which is like this, is to love others.
Right.
Period.
That should be the hard. And for some reason, that's the hardest part to grasp.
Right.
That's one of my favorite memes I've ever seen is Jesus. The picture. There's a famous painting of him on a rock with the kid on his lap, and there's like all these kids around, and he's like, it says like, Jesus, love thy neighbor, and somebody in the audience is like, what about if they're gay? And he's like, did I stutter? Like,
Well, I saw one that said the same thing, said the same kind of thing, and Jesus says, yes, also love those who ask stupid questions.
Right. like it's just it is concerning to me as an American and as a Christian that we as Americans blanketly believe whatever our party says. We as Christians blanketly believe whatever is being touted to us by a pastor or some TV personality or some televangelist who doesn't live in our real world. Like those things very much concern me, and I think that's where a lot of us are dropping the ball. You've got to be able to think for yourself.
That's good.
And we're not doing it.
No, it's easier not to. It's easier to get all your information and all your knowledge from Twitter and be angry all the time.
All the time. Yeah. You ever play like a team building activity where you all have to wear blindfolds and you have a partner who's on the sideline yelling at you?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, that's what I feel like our country is doing right now. Like we're all blindfolded, and we've got Donald Trump on one side yelling at his team. Joe Biden. Neither one of them good at giving instructions.
No.
Let's just be honest about this. Neither one of them good at giving instructions or directing people. Yet they are yelling instructions, and we're all just blindly like, yeah, okay, yeah, sure, yeah. that's what we're doing, and it's ridiculous to me.
Well, we're here to save everybody, you and me.
We're gonna do it one conversation at a time, and I think this was a good one. I think people hopefully hear this and start to think, oh, maybe I should think a little bit about what I believe as opposed to just blanketly accepting everything.
And we'll definitely be talking about this again. I figure we should probably get to homework soon. But you're absolutely. We could go on and on forever, and we'll hit this topic over and over and over again.
Yeah. Well, we know you're almost at the gas station and ready to turn this podcast off. So
that's right. That's right. You want your homework first? This one.
Yeah. Let me hear my homework.
This one is. I'm gonna put you to work. You might want to get started soon.
Okay. All right.
You know what I do for a living?
I do.
Comedy and magic.
Oh no.
I need you to learn a magic trick.
What?
I need you to learn a decent magic trick. Now, nowadays, YouTube, you can learn almost anything. So I want you to, none of this, none of pulling your thumb off and popping it back on like that.
Okay.
I want you to learn a good magic trick that you can show me next week. Now, here's the tough part for you is, especially, I mean, like for me, I've been doing virtual magic shows and it's awful because I'm used to, here, take a card or being, right next to somebody and having fun and interacting with them. So that's part of the challenge is finding something that you can do, figure out a way to do it with me, watching you via Zoom. Okay. But yeah.
All right. I've got friends who are magicians that I might be able to ask to help me out.
They're good. I like it. I
don't know though. I tried to help one of them who's an illusionist. I went on the road with him, and I would open with comedy, and then he would do illusions. And I helped him pack up the stage one time and rolled one of his predictions. It was on a long piece of paper, and I rolled it backwards. And he didn't check it. He didn't check it.
That is really funny for me because I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, and so he was like, well, then I gotta. But he sold it. He made it work.
Okay. Well, that reminds me for the next episode. I don't have it with me right now. I'll have to show it to you. So I'll do it on the next episode. Remind me to tell you about my buddy Rory, who is a black magician, and me and him having to work together. You know Rory Rennick?
Yeah. Love Rory.
Yeah.
His brother's a comic, Vince.
Yeah, Vince. Yeah.
And,
that's right. Rory, I forgot about that.
I love Rory. Yeah. That's a great guy. Okay,
I'll remind me to tell you the Rory story. Rory story.
Yeah. Okay. This one's a difficult one, Dave.
Okay.
I'm giving you a movie that I want you to watch. I don't know if you've ever watched it before. I was gonna give you a Civil War movie since we talked about but I decided like those are way too long and a lot of them you've seen. But there's a movie that I love and it's about a lot of racial misunderstanding and it's all based off of a lie.
Okay.
But it's a movie called Rosewood. I don't know if you've seen it.
I've heard the name. I have heard the name. It's fairly recent, right?
No, it's from the early 2000s, I believe.
Okay.
But I want you to check it out. It's called Rosewood. It's a great movie. If you're listening at home, you should check it out too. It's a great movie, and I think you're going to enjoy it. But it will be hard to watch. I'm warning you now.
Okay.
So do it without the kids around.
All right.
But I want you to check that out and see how you feel about it.
Okay.
All right. Well, awesome.
Perfect. All right. Well, then I will meet you back here same time next time.
All right.
Whatever time that is, and we'll catch up.
All right.
We'll solve the world's problems.
Sounds good.
All right, man. Hey, we'll see you guys.